But yeah, my name is Ragnar. Most important, like I'm an entrepreneur. So I have been coding myself many years ago, but I'm more working in management and marketing. And I have actually spent quite a lot of time in media. My first job was being a reporter in a newspaper. So, but then luckily I immediately moved back to the IT and been forever there. I have been founding few companies, organizations. First startup was United Dogs, which was, and it is still, like Facebook for dogs and cats. It's super nice thing, but it didn't do any money for me. It did it very badly. But my next company, Pipedrive, which I will talk heavily today, has been a great success story, and I will talk more about it later. I have been also involved in Garage 48 hackathons. Have done so many hackathons in so many countries. And today I am mostly doing already a new company. I'm doing Lift 99, which is a platform how founders can share the skills for their future founders. I hope there are also some people here who would want to be startup founders, so that's why I'm here. And I have also done already angel investing, so this is what happens. But maybe most important, I'm dog lover. So this is my dog, Ricky. He has been working in many companies. His official title is Chief Happiness Officer, because he's always happy when he sees me. Like, I have never seen him like bad mood, like never. That's why that's title. But he has met also two Estonian presidents, Estonian prime minister, and so on. So he's the most connected dog in Estonia. And the reason why, by the way, I'm here, and I would really love that some people from here, or many people, would join us tomorrow, is that we're doing Garage 48 empowering women. I see here so many women, which is so great. This is the first time actually when we do Garage 48 format in Ukraine. And I am extremely big believer in diversity. Like why you should have diverse team, why you want to have more and more women in your team, and so on. And I think that I hope that people know that story. How many people know Masquerade? So this was well, this is still like video filtering application. But the new story, the great story is it was started in Garage 48 in Belarus, in Minsk, 2015 November. And 3 months later, they sold this company for 100 million. So this is the most successful hackathon success worldwide, what has ever been. And this is from your neighbors. Which pretty much proves that you can do crazy company from here also, which would make 100 million exit in 3 months. Indeed, there are so many backstories behind that. First of all, they attended in 5 hackathons, they actually know each other like all life and so on. But my point is like, hackathons are very great to learn new skills, but sometimes you can get lucky and you can change your life totally. So I hope that many people from here will join us tomorrow, because we have already 100 people registered, but we would definitely need, and you, yeah, Maria is registered. Do we have anyone else who is registered to the Garage 48? None? Oh my God. So I heavily hope that you will really listen to me carefully and would join, because what is different in this hackathon, we have many international mentors, so you can meet so many great people from Estonia and so on, and you can learn and you can network, and this is heavily building product and making shit happen. So that's the whole philosophy about it. But anyway, I think that I'm here mainly to share Pipedrive things which we have done and maybe which you can learn. So I already saw we have many UX designers here. I want to ask one more time, who are designers? Please raise hands. Wow, so majority. Who is like, because for me, product owner is different. Who are product managers or owners? Please raise hands. 3? Wow. So who are just engineers or like developers? Do we have engineers? None? Okay, what I'm missing here, who else we have by like title? Like you are not designer, you are not a product, who else we have here?
Marketing.
Marketing, okay. How many marketing people we have here? Just one? Okay, and there are like very shy people who is like don't know yet what they're doing. Okay. So anyway, Pipedrive started really from Estonia. This is my co-founders. today, like we are a really global company. We have many offices. I was just in Lisbon, which has amazingly great office, and many people want to just relocate to Lisbon because of the climate indeed. So, but we have also offices in New York, London, Tartu, which is a small city in Estonia, but the biggest is in Tallinn indeed. And most importantly, like we have 70,000 paid clients worldwide, which is absolutely crazy number, because I still remember when we had like, yes, we have 20 clients. And this is like 7. It's like my brain is like, oh my god. And I have met basically 1,000 clients in my life who's using us. Our second market is in here, in Brazil. And if I was in Brazil, I was like a rock star. People lined up just, let's do selfie. Because I had some like presentation, and people were like, thank you so much, we really love your product. Because they are really emotional, and we have been choosing extremely boring area, which is sales. Who loves sales? Very few people. And we have done it very right. So, and yeah, not only that, we also like pretty fast going in US standards. So I try to be super fast today, so I don't have our time. Usually talks in US, if your talks are more than half hour, people would go away. Say like, don't like waste my time. Yeah, some things like best US Europe company B2B, and I will show you just some small video about our existing office, because we have no problem in Estonia that we have now 2 locations, because we don't have at this moment yet building where we can fit in. But I will show the video, which has even, maybe we can hear that, I don't know. So this is my dog talking about his day. The good news is this is the most secure building, because in the basement we have millions of cash. This is not ours, by the way, sorry. But this is basically the building where 4GS collects all the cash. And we have the most secure building in Estonia. That was smart.
And this is quite good for old school calls. Hello, this is Dog. And here's a room for jet lag. And we have a shower. Oh, this is kitchen. Kitchen is where we eat crinkle. We love crinkle. We even have a website for crinkle. Crinkle. This is open air cafeteria.
So basically,
this is where I come to relax.
We have just one weekend like that, sun. That's it.
We have a room entirely for games. It can take you to another reality. Wow. So this is it, folks. Come on over. I'll be happy to host you.
So yeah, right. And now we are the first startup. We have to build our own tower, because we just don't have any more room where we can fit everybody. So this is Pipedrive tower will open in October, November. Anyway, but most important, I want to talk why I think we have been successful, why still, and what's the kind of pace for me if you would do your own company, what I would suggest you to do, Because I hope that many people want to one day be founders of a company. How many people want to do your own startup? Please raise hands. 1? Come on, guys! I'm in the wrong place. Like, the one thing, like, honestly, which I feel, if I look world map, I have been in 65 countries, and okay, I have not been in many of those, like not in North Korea, and so, but for all of that 65 countries, without question, I see that Ukraine has the highest potential, being like, producing huge amount of startups. You know why? Because you have like so many engineers, and where you work, outsourcing. I know where I am, by the way, but still, like, I'm big believers that, Ukraine needs more product companies. because this can be so much different life, and it's extremely unstable. Let me be frank, you will almost every day think, yes, I'm the best in the world. Next day, fuck, we will fail. And this happens like in 24 hours time, and maybe even 3 times sometimes. There is one great book, Hard Things About Hard Things, by Ben Horowitz. Few people have read it, yeah? This guy who is the most successful VC in the world now. He's running Horowitz, Andres VC fund. He's writing how he did IPO, which means that he was putting his company to the public market 2 weeks before going bankrupt. So he had just choice. I will go public, or I will just end like that. And that's usually life by the way. But anyway, it all starts with the values and understanding who you are and who you want to be, who should be around you. And this is the values which we have used in Pipedrive. And this is values when it's still on the place today, 8 years after we started the company. The key element is that Google, by the way, was analyzing the most productive teams. And they wanted to know that one thing what makes teams great. What is the one secret sauce? And this was be nice. Isn't it? They made a huge analysis. This should be easy, isn't it? But the key element is that we have defined, and I think that the one thing which is team first, And actually, I'm always very correct. The last one is don't fuck up other people there. Because we are not, Google, by the way, one moment what they did. They basically, because let me be frank, genius people can be fucking hassles. Many people have read, Steve Jobs, biography. He was fucking insane. He said, this is not my daughter. Which kind of normal human would do that? But luckily, he turned into the normal genius, and he changed the world. The point is what we have chosen is that we have very long, first of all the founders are included in hiring. Not a single person can get in without interview with CEO and also some other founder. And you can really get sense, where you are joining. So that's why, when I was changing my daily job and switched to the advisor role in Pipedrive, in the first 6 years we lost only 6 people. It was basically the people just join and didn't want to go away. And this thought is that things. So he was putting together this is why we are doing it, and this is the values, and this is how we hire people, this is how we fire them if needed, because sometimes this happens. But this is the main things how all company in every level is run. And really the key question is how those things is in daily shown from the founders, managers, onto the bottom. Because otherwise people are yeah, this is bullshit, I have seen it so much, this is just doesn't work. Another thing which I'm a big believer is, you have to build very diverse team. It's not only about SaaS that you need to hire. I think that I am one of the few guys, in Lift99 now, we have 10 people already, and out of that, 7 are women. I have never planned that, by the way. I have just hired the best people, which I know. But somehow it has happened, and I'm a big believer in diversity. Also, out of my 40 investments, actually I have done 6, okay. Out of my 6 investments, 2 startups have at least 1 woman founder. Because how many people was listening Jack Ma talk just 2 months ago in this World Economy Forum in whatever is the place? No one? Who knows who is Jack Ma? Founder of Alibaba. Okay, now we know Alibaba, but who the hell is Jack Ma? Anyway, Alibaba is beating Amazon basically. It's much bigger than Amazon. Alibaba has half workforce women. Half. This is amazing. And the way he sees that, he sees that as Alibaba is service business, you need to care about your clients and so on. He says that woman has basically 2 things higher than men usually. This is emotional intelligence, believe it or not, and also love intelligence. And if you're building a service company, you need to care, and so on. So those things are important. So he said, for me, in Alibaba, this is better. But anyway, so we have very diverse team, and it's very funny in Estonia, our Tallinn office, to see so many different people relocate from Brazil, like from sun to the most dark place in the world, which is great. But there's other thing, Estonia is super safe. Like in Rio de Janeiro, you can't imagine that your kid, 9 years, 10 years old, would go home without security guard. In Estonia, it's like, what? Like, you can see Estonian president in rock concerts just, 3 meters from you. And you actually, in the beginning, even can't point where the security guards. They are actually, but they are not like cleaning up, we have president here. So this is extremely important. And if you do those things right, what happens that in Estonia, one company shortlisted 100 companies and they made survey, asked people who went to the company and people who have left the company, and says that this is the best place to work in Estonia for all companies in the rural sector. The challenge which I actually started is the case that when you're growing, the key question is how you can have still startup mentality. Because that's what happens usually, that you have 5 people, it's everything is so fast, 10, 15, 20. How you can have that if people join, they don't have this kind of like stress that, we just do these bureaucratic things, nothing is changing and so on. So that's why in our case, what we have done in development is that every team is independent, meaning that every team can basically ship by itself. They have all needed skills inside the team, all. It's just depending what they do, but all engineering skills, design, and also product owners sitting together with the team. Because then they are basically like, every team is like a small startup. They have what they need to do, they decide. Indeed, there are like other layers, like product owner is working together with product team. So he spends like basically like half time with his like product team and half team is product like management. So just being sure that we are basically connecting everything. But because the speed is extremely important if you want to do fast-growing company. That's everything. Like what is startup? Startup is company what has designed for the fast-growing. So if you would grow less than 100% by revenue, Silicon Valley would say you're not startup. You can't say that like I have seen 120 years old startup. I was like, what? Because in startup, you should measure your speed weekly. If you can't find this kind of KPI, sorry dude, you're not startup. It's just great company, I don't say that everybody has to do startup, by the way. I'm just saying that this is fucking exciting. So the key thing which I'm saying we have product people here, so let's jump into the product development and so on, is that it all starts actually also from understanding into the like smallest pieces what the hell you're doing, why you're doing that. So and this is basically, if I think about Pipedrive, we have 5 founders. I have been doing, I have been in IT forever, and then we have 2 amazing engineers, and then we have 2 sales guys. Actual sales guys who before Pipedrive worked all life helping sales teams to be more successful and so on. So we had all needed know-how in these 5 people, which is okay for the starting. And and when we started, it was like, so what is problem in CRM? So CRM, what we are building is sales management tool. It should help you to being more successful in sales. But what is even bigger problem is that there are like thousands of CRMs. I don't know what you guys use. If someone knows what ELEKS is using as a CRM? Microsoft.
It was, I think.
Dynamics, yeah? Okay. So, very good story. Before Pipedrive, my co-founders did analysis in 2008, most likely, whatever. And they, shortlisted softwares and they choose Dynamics. Says, yes, you invest 20,000, whatever is the amount in dollars, and they was giving this for every salesman, and after 6 months, what they realized, no one is using it anymore. Why? It's so complicated. Because sales itself is super hard. You need to call. You get so much negative emotions. You get no, you get like, fuck you, and so on, And so problem is actually how to build software which is easy to use and which pretty much follows the salesman logic, not the manager logic, because that's actually different. Manager want to see data, dashboard, how many calls, so on. Salesman want to see what I need to do next, basically. Like, what is the things which you do next to being much more successful. And what we decided in the beginning is that we are focusing salesman pain. That's who we want to help. First person. We want to make salesman more happy. That's it. That's our core mission. Basically, because the theory is that basically client is hiring you for something. I mean that if you have a product, client will look at your product and say, would I hire this product to doing something? And yeah, the key question always is like, do you really know how your sales guy is living and what they're doing and so on? So this is DNA. And this is how we started, by the way. This is basically the most easiest way how to have your sales pipeline is with post-it notes on the wall. Because you will just put like, every post-it note is like company, whatever, and if you have something happen, you take it and you move to the next stage. It is just the most easiest thing ever. And our mission was how we can build this thing into the software. That it should be extremely so easy. So the next thing is like how you know what your client actually is doing, you know. And it all starts how connected you are with your client. So and really understanding, because you know from the beginning we decided one thing: we are not in the battle for having as many features we can. No, because we are in the battle to understanding if a client asks something, please make this, whatever, you know, feature, why you ask that. And then understanding maybe we can re-engineer that. Like actually, so the key element is actually even more that in the perfect company, every single person, from the assistant to the support, from the engineering to the accountant, actually understands the client problem. It's not only product owner problem, but also like if someone is developing, he or she should understand why we are doing it. And what's the frustration and so on and so on. So this is how we started. This is the first mock-up. We had different name. It was 2010, it was Growthy. We had even better name, by the way. Like my favorite name was, and we had even domain for that. The other version was Crocobird. Isn't it a cool name, yeah? Like we would be so famous, but we finally got the Pipedrive because that was like some racing game, I think so. Why we choose that? Because you know, like, and we had in the beginning we had like dashboard. I'll show you later, and it was little bit had like sense like you are in Porsche Cayenne. And somebody from Lithuania was even like sitting and saying, "But why you use Porsche Cayenne dashboard?" It's like, no, we don't use. I know what is Porsche. I have Porsche. It's like, okay, that's interesting. But anyway, this is how we started. And this is how it looks today. So actually, the main view is pretty similar. It has stayed there because the key question is how, if you open it, you see your deals and you immediately see what you need to do. The most funny story, like the biggest CRM company is Salesforce. And I think that 2 or 3 years ago, they pretty much copied that. So they was releasing their own whatever light version, which is so similar for us. Actually, there are more companies who have copied us. The best is from Russia, which basically copied all our front end, just changed color, you know, from, I don't know, I think it was red, and we was like calling them, and, you know, Russians, what the fuck you do? So it's like, what is problem, comrade? You know, this is our work, they said. We said, yeah, you can open front end and you can see Estonian words in the front end. But you know, the good news was like, you know, fuck it, you know, but because we had like, so what you would do in that situation? Would you go to court in Russia? Exactly. You people should laugh, you know that, you know. Just like, no, we don't go, but the good story is, first, only great products will be copied. Second story is, CRM is trust business. Would you trust your business data for someone who is stealing? So basically, those guys helped us to get more clients. So because one moment I was like, okay, fuck it, it's not so easy. They just said, you know, sorry, and they was giving him a domain back and so on. So this story ended very well for us. And by the way, clients helped us. They had like webinars, and they had webinars, people are talking, and then one client from Pipedrive is showing up and said, guys, this is just copy guys, please look the original. And it happened in every webinar, so they helped us to make more market. Okay, so the key thing is that how basically, the first prototype was done in just 2 months, and then we pushed it out. And we have been using our own product for so many cases. Like my co-founder, when he was renting out his apartment, he was using this as well, Pipedrive, because you can just do the pipeline, somebody contacting you, do research, and so on. So there are so many cases about how you can use it. But most importantly, every single person who joins company, when somebody is accepted, would be actually now we're already 2 weeks in support. So you will, whatever position you work, first 2 weeks, you sit down with product people and just take calls or reply emails. Indeed, first 3 days we will train you, and you will be always together with 3 support people. But you see every day what's the problems and so on. Every single person in the company. And better even, we had 2014 summer, like when we had less people, we divided us into the small groups, 2 people, and we were selling books on the street. This is the most hated thing ever, believe me. And many is like, no, we don't ever want to do that. But at least they understand why we are doing that and what's the problem. So I think that the key element is more and more how you can measure everything. Because so tiny things can make huge change in engagement, in the sign-ups, and revenue. So the problem is now that you can go nuts with those data points. The key element is how you can find the most important things that really matters. So we are basically measuring, we have been into that point that if someone signs up, we can understand after basically like 10 seconds, is this client would convert or not? Because there are like some key like things that he or she needs to do. And the magic moment if someone adds new team, then we know, okay, already like possibilities that he will start to pay is like going from whatever like 0 to I think it's 60 or 70. And yeah, like the key is that we have even like we have now data team and even machine learning teams that we constantly trying to think about how client onboarding would be more and more successful. Because what is challenge for us that we are so global, we have clients in Brazil and so on, and we have one product. But surprisingly, sales is universal. This is super surprising because with Clanbeat, which I'm involved with building HR softwares, we discovered that company culture is still local. The things that works in Ukraine actually would not maybe work in US and so on, because this is local culture and so on. But sales is super universal. So the product is everywhere the same. And this is one example. Like this was 2011. How looked our like main page? As I said, this looks like a Porsche dashboard. People love that. The problem was like our US guys said, too much information. And so what we did, after 6-pack of beer, this. We just removed, basically. So what we have here, we have start free trial, which is for the Americans. Learn more for Germans. Because they want to know where is my data, you know. And what happened 3 times bigger conversion with just this thing. Because you know, the case is Americans, where we are mainly as biggest number of clients, they just want to jump in and you know, look at the product immediately, test out and send decide. And many CRMs are like that, said, oh, please call us, we will train you, blah, blah, blah. But our market is small and middle-sized companies, and they want to jump in and then decide. And again, small things make huge difference. So that's why you test so many things, and the challenge is that our website today is different. Again, because all of those things which I show, you can test them, but no one knows because all the market uses as well. And there is no anymore this kind of like bulletproof thing that you can do. So what is our advantage now? That we have 70,000 clients, and we are more and more even can tell that, you know, who is taking the longest lunch in the world? What do you think? What nation? China. No. French. Come on, guys. You know wine and you know the thing. But you know what the secret? After this like 90 minutes, nice lunch, they are the most effective. See, it's just like closing the teeth like that. Because we have data which shows that, you know, like if you take a break, you will be very powerful. So this data that we have is super unique because today, Pipedrive is the biggest independent CRM company in the world. I mean that there is Salesforce, Oracle, and those huge like beasts. But someone who is focusing SMBs, we have the highest number of clients, and this data is just already so crucial that this every day we learn from that how to make better product. And this guy in the left, very important guy, he's the head of engagement. He's very engaged, as you can see. And this right guy is in support, so very engaged people. Estonians, you know, those slow Estonians. So, and you know, one moment we was Googling, and you know, this is unique position, like, there is not too many people in the world who is just focusing, you know, client engagement. So, we have even not only made Chief Happiness Officer, but, you know, head of engagement, you know, which is extremely important to understand. And the other thing, you know, like, actually we have 60 languages now. Okay, so why those things which we have done has been so successful is that we have localized it. And believe it or not, you know, okay, in Estonia, the funny story is, we have still Estonian language, which almost no one uses. Because for Estonians it's so, like, strange to use software in Estonian language. It's like, I have never used Windows in Estonia, never. But in Brazil, oh my God, like people don't no, we don't speak any English. And the fact that we localized has helped us like so heavily. Silicon Valley, people do only US market, you know, 300 million, biggest GDP, other things. But Brazil is so huge. And we are the biggest CRM because we immediately localized this. The problem was, localizing is actually now science, and actually there's one good startup from Ukraine who is focusing localization, like how to handle translation in localization. The problem is that many US jokes would never work in Brazil. Like, they just don't look same movies and so on, so this is going really science and science. This is how our dashboard was in the beginning. Like, yes, this was showing like, what is this month's revenue? 400, super proud, and just someone paid like 19. And we had like clunk clunk, you know, like it's just like money sound, you know. This dashboard worked like 3 months because we was going nuts in it, and no, I can just show you. This is how it looked like many years ago, because you know, actually this information is still like everybody in the office actually sees that. You can see how much we are making revenue and so on, who paid and so on, and the flags, and so many like important KPIs. Because, come on, for me, every single team member in Pipedrive is important that every single team member has their own motivational package, which starts from here. Like actually almost every engineer, if you work hard, you can reach into a level when you have stock options. Not in the beginning, but if you stay us and one moment we'll give you, this is your package. Which means that if we grow and we go heavily, some people have made already like house or whatever, you know, out of those, if they would sell, you know. They can sell it now, but it would be too early. So the problem is that for me, finding great product people is almost impossible. Because you need to include so many things in the product people. It's like you need to know deeply the product, you need to understand all how this is, you know, programmed, the UX and other things. And I think that this has been the most challenging position for us to hire. And because like fundamentally, best product people is driven by that you want to make people's life easier. This is your drive. You just, I want to make impact every day. But there are like so many tiny details what makes great product people great. And this is our first product guy, who was the sales guy again. Because he has never, you know, he has never coded and he had so long learning curve, like it's 4 or 5 months at least. But he knows so deeply what means to being, and it was easier for us to turn product guy, like sales guy to product guys and opposite way. And it heavily depends what you would do, but that's the secret, that how you can do things fundamentally so different that people even that people usually don't do. The other guys which we have been promoting is support people for the product. Because usually what happens is, okay, product like support is not like people usually not join like our product team, support team, but we want to do forever support. You know, this is still hard. But many of them would grow in different positions. We have many joining actually engineering even. Like we have programs how you can learn it, but some of them has made all those into product owners because they have spent 3 years with clients and they know deeply what's the problem there. And you know, the challenge is more and more, as I said, we are not in the battle of making like so many features. The key is how to choose and how to say no. That's the secret of the great products. Because we have decided in the Pipedrive that we always add new things under the hood basically. So the main view, so that would be like paddle to change even tiny details. I think you guys definitely, I hope you have reading some Google stories how basically, I think that the founder of Google was counting how many pixels or whatever had the main view, and when there was more he was sending some crypto messages to the team and people like, what number is that? And then he understood that he was so pissed off that Google Search main page had more and more like whatever, like images or things. So I think they really understood power of no. And you know exactly why clients ask that, because usually there's some chance that best salespeople or like support people would be so engaged and they want to please people. They would like go and ask, please make that thing. Just let's help them. But again, why? Why they ask that? What is actually behind it? And you know exactly how, can we first like solve something without opening and study the code? You know, can we really understand what's behind it? So you know, even today, like when Pipedrive has 400 people, we have 6 offices. As I said, speed. How we can make things fast. In that sense, our team still like, if we had crazy idea, the question is how you can do rapid prototyping and how you can show something before you would spend 3 months, you know, building. You know. So that's why, and yeah, basically Pipedrive started in the styles that everybody had their job, and we were just taking our own time, moved to the countryside, because in Estonia you can have 4G in every forest, you know. Like you can just go in the middle of whatever place and you have 4G. Because we are so small, so it's like just only like Skype and forest, you know. So we had like our own hackathon, so this is in our DNA. Like we did our own private hackathons, and we started. and we still use the same mentality now. And how many people know Design Sprint? Few? How many people have used it for your own purpose? 1, 2? Did you like it? Was it you? Yeah. Okay. But did you have the result that you hoped, or? Not really. Really? What happened? Huh? Better? Yeah. Wow. And what about you? You was also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure that we did it completely in a classic way, so. Yeah.
But it's not important, because actually one thing which I realized, Design Sprint is designed in US, and we need to implement that into the local environment as well. So some things, I think the decisions part is great, but some like client interviews and so on, sometimes it's harder to do them. But
like the main component is to have everybody on board, and
yes.
It's not always possible.
Oh my God, yeah, those huge genius people like fighting each other. Yeah. But that's why they have mechanism, like not some one moment you decide, that's it, decision maker go, you know. So we have used it, I have used it in different companies and I love it, you know. Because it's first of all, people don't need to take like weekend off, you know, doing that, you know. But same time we have done still hackathons, like in the ways that we will like start on Friday and end in Saturday evening, and still people can take Monday off or whatever, you know, like doing full hackathon, you know. So yeah, and the key element is that, again, back to that, you just can't win this battle if you don't focus like those things, like how to get the satisfaction so high. Because in the beginning, I was basically calling clients and saying, hi, I'm co-founder, you know, how you do, hi. So, like really how you do. So I personally was involved in contacting clients. And it was like, wow, co-founder is talking, okay. It's much different than you send someone else. And it really helped us because people, and if I was traveling, I was always like, you know, okay, I go to the Indonesia. I was like, okay, give me the client list. I was sending emails. The problem in Brazil, only one out of 10 would reply because they don't speak English, they don't speak Portuguese. So actually I had client meeting in Brazil and they invited like translator. And nowadays it's easier, you can use Google and you can just speak and go, okay. But it was 3 years ago, it was not so good. So. But anyway, this is the key method, it really matters, you know. You can fake it in the beginning, but later on it's much harder. And then, if you do things right, then people just start to like blog and you know like tell your product. Because one thing which is so important, like so funny about Pipedrive, so we built sales tool, and many VCs always ask, okay, so how big is your sales team? 0. We don't have a sales team because who is selling us? Is clients. And this has been modeled at many VCs, and this is actually not important because if you build company, you don't want to raise money, but you want to build a company that makes people happy, your clients happy, and your people happy. But many people didn't understand our models that we had so high, like viral growth that people, like let's say somebody, what happens? How people choose CRMs? They would go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or even you know ask from groups. And many times, if people asking, Pipedrive is in top. Because we have this focus to motivate them as well. So, but the good news is that whatever you do, people are super creative. And I will give you one very good use case. Once more, Pipedrive is a sales tool. Sales. But this is the most creative I have seen from New York. Because again, we are empowering women here. This is New York girl who used Pipedrive for finding boyfriend. Because in New York, she had too many candidates. So she needed software. So what we have here, first dates idea. 2 guys on that stage. Flirting, already 2 guys also here. Dating to discover. I don't know what that means. But next is good. Sexual compatibility, yes. And 1 guy is already here. That's so nice. Then, by the way, sex goes first, and then you share your relationship desires. That's New York. Then you have in negotiations. What? And then deals closed. So if we have single people here, is it guys or women? You know, you can use Python for like too many candidates, which, and actually we had 1st April jokes that we have integration with Tinder. So, and many people believe that this is actually real. It wasn't. But this is the best news stories I have seen. We actually approached her kindly because she was tweeting that. They said, you know, thank you, it's so nice. Can you tweet us more your screenshots? She was silent 2 weeks and said, thank you, deal is closed, I find boyfriend. So, but you know, this tells one thing, because let me be frank, building B2B software is fucking boring. Like engineers want to always build next Google, you know. We have in Estonia a startup which is building video authentication tool. So in Estonia now you can open bank account from your computer because you open video and video will analyze you and do this magic and say, yes, you're real, yes, no, you're fake news. This is an interesting challenge, isn't it? But B2B tool? Not so much. But the attitude, what we have in all is that how we can build business tool which is so easy to use like it is Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Because this is what happens then. So once more, guys and the girls, tomorrow I need more UX designers actually. Like really, they was giving me a list, the organizer said, please steal some UX designers, we need more designers in Orient. So I need like at least 1-2 hands now who will join, because come on, I was spending here like 45 minutes talking to you. And you will like meet not only with me, but many people, we will give you more things, because we will hands-on like give you things. Do we have people who is at least interested? I need some hands, come on. 2, yes, 3, 4, super. Because like, believe me, you can learn many things and never know, you know, maybe after a year or 2 you will be like founder of Masquerade or what? So, this is it. If you have any questions, send me, yeah, okay, first question.
What was your team on the day 1 and how did you get your first 100 users?
So, as I said, we had 5 founders. So, it took us almost 1 year, no less actually, it took us 10 months until first paying company. So we had first paying company, so we started to program 2010 June, in end of July, very rough prototype, we can use it. 2011 February, first paid company. First was from Estonia, second from US. And then it took us, in November we had other clients. It took us 9 months from first to 100.
How did you sell to the first 100?
So it was basically, I was so active involved. I looked my LinkedIn list, I was like, so this guy, hello, you know, I'm doing a new company, it's not any more talks. So I know that you have sales team, yeah. So I was approaching them personally and I did first things that I said, you know, this is new tool, please help me to launch this product. I will give you 6 months free. One condition, please give me feedback. And I basically found first 50 users. From that, I think that 5 converted 10% to the paying companies. And I was personally involved and asked, and I said, I was so proud, finally I have something, and I promised it will not go bankrupt, does it do good things, you know. But I was heavily involved doing that. Okay? Do we have more? Yeah, please.
So first of all, thank you for the very nice talk. And my question is, so you mentioned about multiple features, like how to prototype first and try first, very fast. How do you manage to roll in that amount of features, like prototypes or like just betas maybe, into the project and not to overcomplicate it?
Okay.
How to differentiate, maybe like limit users, or like what's the strategy here?
Okay, so you mean that if you have so many product teams and everybody is adding new things?
Yeah.
This is very good. Okay, this is why, very good question, because this is why exactly, even those teams are independent, product owner is still part of product management team. So if teams will come up with ideas, they have indeed come back and they need to still look the big picture. What is our focus today? Is this new thing matches actually our this year goal? So this, like, indeed, this needs to be done, and we have those product like updates every quarter almost, and we basically like looking where we are eating, and indeed we have annual plan. So this has to match, you know. Like it can't be like let's that you would do something like, oh, let's do Tinder integration, you know. Like you can do it like as a fun, but it has to be like. So our goal is, let's say, to build. Like nowadays, the biggest challenge is that there are so many tools around. So integration is there. Yes. So what we're actually building now, which is not officially open, but what we have is that we have actually now App Store ready. So that we have two ways. At first, we are building integration with different tools, but now we're opening, our API is anyway opened, but we open the App Store system, which helps any kind of software like integrate with us. Because we get so many like emails already, like, I have this system, we have maybe 500 clients, whatever, we want to integrate with you. And now we are focusing that part. And we have kind of focuses, like, the key element is still how we can automate. Like, you know, like that, like the biggest, I think that impact has been that we integrated Gmail and email into systems that it connects automatically with the deal, with the human, and so on and so on. And how to make this like bulletproof. And this has taken so much time, you know. And also, like, even to that level, that when you have mobile app, then even that level can be connect. It's easier in Android, very hard in iOS. So that this kind of background information and so on, you call, it would like automatically like put into your CRM that you call this person from your CRM in that moment, and so on. So automatization is more and more like. Everything should be like almost like that. I just do something, and our system tracks and puts into the place. In the future, it should be like that. You call, we will record the audio and just put this into the text. This should be actually the level where we're heading. And the challenge is that I was thinking this is easy to do. Now I look like, oh my God, we can build this next 10 years, you know. And you know, the good story is that many companies has approached us saying, you know, we want to buy you. And we said, no, why?
What's the reason?
Because first of all, Pipedrive has been almost profitable because we have raised money, but we have money in the bank. Clients are happy, people are happy. Why we should sell it? So in that sense, I think that if you think about startups, so many startups, like Masquerade is a great story, but I would always think if you start a company, like if you would marry someone, would you ask exit strategy? No, because you want to be married. And if you start your own company, this is like child for you. Would you want to do exit, you know? So that sense, I would totally support that. Build something that you love and enjoy, you know. And even though I'm not working daily in Pipedrive, why I'm going around and doing hackathons and building new software is that I want to share my know-how for the people who are listening and who might have similar like challenges. Like you guys here can understand the things what's happening in Estonia, but Silicon Valley guys has much different things. But here you know how to raise even money, you know how to get first clients, you know. Because the problem here is that if you would do the product and if you show this Ukrainian client, they will give you much different feedbacks than US client. So the key element is that you do globally from first day. So we had second class from US, and they have been telling us always, why this product is so cheap? And then we get, from India, why is it so expensive? But we have been focusing still much more US, and we have still same pricing even in Ukraine. I know many people are unhappy. Maybe in the future we will do this different pricing, but in the beginning it was like, let's do everything simple, just that's it, you know. We have many clients in Ukraine, by the way, but I don't know all my head, and I didn't look this time who's in Lviv, so. Because it's 70,000, it's just, you know, to do this, like, server, like, wow, this is so big. But yeah, do we have more questions? Yeah, please.
By the way, we use Pipedrive.
Oh, see, nice. Do we have more people, sorry, who are using Pipedrive? No, only you, okay. No, we do a photo now, okay.
I wanted to ask you, like in the very beginning of your journey, have you had like big companies seducing you with the customization projects?
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, and how you managed to say no to that fast money and stuff? So, or maybe you didn't, and how you know?
So I can tell you secrets behind success. We started company in 2010. I had startup before, so I didn't know what that means, up and down. Timo and Urmas, my co-founders, they had a little bit like, not corporate life, but you know, they had their own companies, they were selling, they did very good money, they had families, they had kids, they had house, they had cars. So we struggled first 2 years. And one moment, like, we didn't, like, basically, we didn't pay any salary for founders, like, first 18 months. And people was already quitting daily job and so on. And one moment, I think the company was 2 years old, I was the only guy from 5 founders who had okay credit history. Because bank was literally like taking away my co-founder car, then second car, and he had, you know, kids to go to school, and since they called like every like months, so you again, I have not paid the payment for the house, so what the fuck is going on, you know? And now what happened? So we had, I think that we had like 15 paying clients, so we made $1,000 per month. Yes. And Toyota calls us. Toyota, huge calls. We love your product. You know, like, we just hate these other products and so on. But we have policy in company. Software has to be in our servers. So we will pay you 25,000. Please do that for us. It's like, fuck. So we had like discussion, and people was looking at each other's faces and like, you know, you see the pay, we looking, okay, you know, if you take this money, we can pay salary, you know, we can pay our like loans, at least for sometimes. And we said no. And you know why? I think that many people use GitHub, yeah? How many years took GitHub to build these solutions that you can have your own, like, you know, things in your own, like, Docker servers? 6 years? 7 years? So we understood one thing, that if you do this, what Toyota asked, it will be not scalable. Like, it would be so hard to update and so on, and we just said, no, our client ICBs. And we had luck to make that rough decision at this moment, but it was extremely hard. Believe me, like, we have been going so many up and downs all the time, that, but I have been always looking, that I am super lucky one in my team, and I remember in 2012, yeah, it was 11, I think so. 11, so we had meeting in Silicon Valley with investors, and me and Timo, the CEO, was going to the meeting, and we had 5 founders, and at this same moment when we had meeting, one of our founders had operation. He had cancer. So, and not only that, like, but he was always like, fuck this cancer, I will fight for that, and he's alive, he's like tough guy. Like, 5 years later, he was visiting our Japanese clients, and the only reason why I'm telling that he hasn't told that publicly, so this is not, I'm just sharing some private information, but he was going to Japan, and in the flight when he was flying back, again, something happened, and he was 2 months in coma, and he again learned how to walk, eat, and so on. And you know, then I'm looking like, whatever I have been going through, you know, this is nonsense. You know, just my health is okay, my kid is okay, the dog is okay, everything's okay. But yeah, like, let me be frank, building company and going against of Salesforce, Microsoft and Oracle is super hard. And we have been lucky that our revenue has been growing steadily like that. Not like that, not like, I don't know, Snapchat or Facebook, but like this, literally, it's 8 years. And I think there's a huge amount of luck, but even bigger amount of really hard work, you know, like, even now, if I'm in Silicon Valley, my weeks are 100+ hours, so if I read Elon Musk, I don't understand what this guy is going through. It's just, he has 6 sons or whatever, like, so many, and like, 5 companies. And he's doing space, and he's doing Tesla, and he's doing boring company, and AI, and I'm missing one. I don't know what was the 5th one. So anyway, so in that sense, it has been crazy. Okay, last question if you have any, because you want to go to sleep, and then we need to eat, and you need to not check. Tomorrow is Friday, You know, I was today in the bar here, and I was so lucky, because there was this trout, and the chlieb, and you know, so there was vanatangi. So famous Estonian drink was even sold here in Vilnius. So I was like, yes, I'm almost like home. But I didn't took any bites, so okay, thank you guys.